Hey guys, on tonight's episode we're talking recap of the Forrest Wood Cup, how we got here, and how to properly sink a drone.
Hey guys, Jeff Walsh here. Got Bryan Thrift, Matt Arey. First episode of Let's Talk Fish. And I guess elephant in the room is, how did we get here?
Funny story. I think this was your brainchild, but so
I don't know about all that.
yeah, Jeff hit me up one day and he said, "Hey man, let's meet for breakfast. I got an idea." And we met up at the Shelby Cafe here in Shelby, North Carolina.
World famous Shelby Cafe.
World famous for liver mush.
Yes.
Lots of people wonder what liver mush is. They look at me kind of funny when I say that word. And some of the guys from FLW, I promised them I'd bring them a block of Max liver mush from Shelby. If you have never tried liver mush, you haven't lived. And so it was Jeff's brainchild. He said, "Hey man, I got an idea. Let's throw a talk show together. We got you and Bryan. We live 10 minutes apart. Grew up around here fishing together. Jeff, who's a big red fisherman, owns Southern Redfish Tour, decided to join forces, and here we are. So let's get rolling."
Sweet. Well, we just finished up the Forrest Wood Cup. I guess y'all guys did. I went there for a day, spent some time.
You were there. We saw you.
Yes. Yeah. So I guess we can start by let's talk about the cup for each of you and another Angler of the Year, 2010 and 2017.
Another Angler of the Year.
17 was a good year.
And
very good year.
Top 10 at the Cup. So talk about the Cup. How was it like for you?
Well, I don't know about Matt, but I know the herring bite really surprised me as strong as it was. Like I never figured that was gonna happen like that. We had like some kind of crazy October bite going on in the middle of August. The way the weather was. Yeah, there we go. We'll blame it on El Nino, or could be.
Don't say that word.
Don't say it.
One thing we are not talking about tonight is the eclipse. If I hear eclipse or totality one more time or see it on social media, I'm quitting. I'm walking out the door. I'm throwing everything in the trash. Go ahead. Sorry.
But anyway, the weather for Columbia in August should be 100 degrees, no wind, just miserable. And, of course, we had mild, mid-80-degree days and like a week of clouds. And I think all the herring in the lake that were down in 60 feet of water swam to the surface and decided to bite Justin's topwater.
Justin's topwater.
Just Justin's topwater.
Not my topwater.
Not my topwater either. But I totally, I'm not going to say I missed that bite, but I didn't put the faith in it that the top guys did. So that's where I was.
Yeah, and Bryan had a great finish. He ended up fourth. This is how many top tens have you made? You fished like 9 cups and made 9 top tens?
Yeah,
8 top tens?
something like that. I don't know.
So, yeah, Bryan kills it in the cup. Yeah, that's right. I lose count. Angler of the Year titles, wins, that kind of thing. But no, it was a very interesting Lake Murray in August. That is something we've never seen before.
No.
I don't even know if the locals have ever experienced something like that. And
I don't think so.
It was a slugfest, man. I told Bryan, I said, give me 14 pounds a day. I'll sit at the house with a big smile on my face. I think that would have landed you in like 10th place.
If you compare weights from 14 to 17, they're doubled across the board. I mean, I look back before we ever started, and in 14, I think it took 10 pounds a day to make the top 10 cut for 2 days. And this year
it was around 20 pounds.
Well,
that's right.
We talked a couple weeks before the Cup and just talking about what y'all think it was going to do and looking forward to it, and 12 or 13 pounds was the number.
That was the number to beat right there. If you could get over that 13-pound range, you were going to be in good shape, and definitely not the case this year.
Yeah, you had what'd you have day one? Was it 19?
Yeah,
like 100 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, and like I had 19
but
pounds.
for the record, he said he only had like 15 pounds.
No, I said 16.
16, I'm sorry.
I only missed about 3 pounds.
That's right.
That's allowable.
Him and Andy Morgan.
Come on now.
Sandbaggers. Just saying. Had to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I quit fishing at like 11 o'clock the first day because, you got 19 pounds on Lake Murray in the middle of August. Yeah, you're done. You need to save some for the next day.
Absolutely.
And then you come in and you're getting beat by 3 pounds and you're somewhere in 4th or 5th place. And that's the moment the light bulb went off and I realized, all right, I've missed something here.
Yeah, that tournament was 100% dominated by that herring bite. And not all those fish that I saw, even on the lower third, were feeding on herring. I think the blueback numbers have suffered a little bit on Murray. I heard that from several locals before the tournament.
Yeah, there was a shad. They were doing the shad deal too.
Yeah, there was a lot of big shad out there, big 2, 3, and 4 inch shad they were feeding on. And that bite, I mean, it was dominated by basically 2 baits: a soft plastic jerk bait, fluke style baits, and big walking baits like pencil poppers and things like that.
Typical herring style baits.
Yeah.
Although what's the little magic swimmer thing that everybody used to throw a lot? I didn't.
That Seville swimmer.
Yeah, that really didn't play much this time.
No, it didn't. And I think that more they use that more around the spawn down there. I don't know. I'm not an expert with that little magic swimmer thing. It's never been magic for me, so I try to stay away from it. But no, it was an interesting tournament. Gigantic weights. Congratulations to Justin Atkins for the win.
Yep.
Being a young guy, very humble guy. Haven't got to know Justin very well, but seems like a really nice guy, and it's going to do a lot for his career. So congrats to him.
Yeah, I think it was a great tournament for you guys for sure. And I went to the, Sunday weigh-in, and
that was a show, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
a show.
that was a
packed
crowd
house.
of people.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
it was,
a little bit bigger
and it was
than,
every day.
Than the Southern Redfish Cup weigh-ins, but we're working on it.
Just a little bit bigger.
Just a tad.
But maybe if you'd give away a brand new Ranger Z520C, more people would show up.
Or that's a good idea, Jeff.
Who gave Easton Corbin gave a free
Easton
concert
Corbin,
down there, and he was phenomenal. I don't know if y'all. Well, Brian was still fishing, of course, as usual, so he didn't get to enjoy the concert. But I was out in the crowd. Jeff was out in the crowd, and he put on a heck of a show. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got some people joining in, so we want to thank you for joining. I see Blake Smith is on.
What's up, Blake?
Burdett. Yeah. So,
how's it going, guys?
We got some good participation here, so we want to definitely thank you for that. So, how do you properly sink a drone?
That might be a question for Jeff.
Who wants to start?
I think the pilot should start.
The pilot should
start.
answer that question. So, give you all a little backdrop though before Jeff answers this question. We go out, we're shooting a little drone footage on a little local lake called Moss Lake. Y'all probably heard us talk about it on social media, where Brian and I grew up cutting our teeth fishing. And we have a drone. We've got my GoPro, by the way, which is inside the drone. Your SD card. It's a combination of people's equipment, but it's $4,000 or $5,000 worth of equipment, I'd say, total. And maybe not the drone, but it was slightly used. And we go out there to shoot the drone footage. Everything's going great. About 20 minutes deep, and we only need about 25 minutes of footage. And Jeff, I'll let you take it from there.
Hey. Just for the record, and Josh is probably watching, I saw him join.
I saw him join, so be careful what you say.
No.
Did you mean 20 minutes deep or 25 feet deep?
It's about 30 feet deep after about 20 minutes. So, apologies to Josh White, who so graciously lent his drone for us to
You're sucking up because he's watching.
He is. And we haven't gotten the bill yet, but we will be buying a new drone. But anyhow, so we borrowed the drone. Everything's good. Just want to get a couple minutes of footage to try to make a intro video, the one y'all just saw in the video. So, Bradley Burdett, he sunk a drone too. It's about $6,000, about 35 foot Murray.
It almost hit me though.
He had to scuba dive and go.
I was going to say Murray's clear enough. See, moss, the problem with moss, if you get down there like 10 or 15 feet, you can't see your hand in front of your face because the silt build up.
Right.
So, a couple people ask me, why didn't you go scuba diving? I'm like, number one, I don't scuba dive.
I think you put it in a 55-gallon drum of rice, and it came out after about 2 or 3 days.
I've heard that
started working.
again.
I've done that with a cell phone, and it works.
So anyhow, everything was going good. Got some footage, bringing it back to the bank, and we were getting one last shot because I was about 40 foot in the air, and y'all were coming under the drone real slow. Me and Josh were looking at the screen. We're like, man, that's a good shot. We were both staring at it. We look up. Joker starts tilting about twice.
Yeah, I heard it getting out of sorts. I don't know what it was doing, but I looked up and the drone's going side to side, and I spin the boat around. I'm like, I'm going to try to catch this drone. And it falls 5 feet from the side of the boat, and I jump up there to try to grab it, and I mean, it didn't float for a half a second.
Half a second, yeah.
It was gone.
I mean, nobody's done it yet. I don't know. Maybe somebody's done it. I'm not very technically sound. Why does I'm talking about seeing the drone. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Why do people not build floating drones? I mean, how many?
I'm sure there's floating drones.
Well, there's like huge warnings when you get them. Don't fly over water because it messes with the GPS or I don't know. Something. Obviously,
well, so note to self: don't fly drones over water. We did it again though, and it worked out fine.
We did do it again, and we got a little bit of footage there for an intro video, and had some fun doing that. So, yeah, it was all good.
That's how you sink a drone.
That is how you properly sink a drone.
And me and Matt fished a tournament at Moss Lake Thursday and won, but we did not catch fish off of the drone hole.
Yeah, we went to the drone hole, actually.
We did go
There
to the
used to be a
drone
brush pile there, but it's
did.
gone now. I think maybe one of the guys might have drug it around and shifted it on us or something.
They wouldn't do that.
But no, the drone hole didn't have any bass on it, and we didn't catch a drone either, so
No.
we may get back after that drone. We're going to start long
We
lining
should
some
probably
big
go
great
try to
baits.
dig it up and see if we can get it to work.
Well, it's been, what,
That'd be a good
Is it
story.
worth
3
it?
weeks?
Wasn't it an old drone?
It's pretty old. A couple of years maybe, but the technology moves so fast, so it's probably like 3 weeks of it. You never know.
All right, guys, so we're going to take a little quick break, and when we come back, we've got some questions you guys have been submitting over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate that, and we've got a few here that we're going to start answering for you. And also, at the end of the show, we're going to take some questions live. So everybody stay on. We are going to take some questions live, and we'll be back in just a second.
Get hands-on with Quaker State. The more miles you tack onto your odometer and the older your engine gets, the more likely your engine seals will start to break down, which can cause your engine to leak. That's why we made Quaker State High Mileage for vehicles with over 75,000 miles. It's formulated with special seal swell conditioners to help reduce leaks, because any other solution to handling those leaks can get a little messy. That's better. Quaker State, just damn good oil.
All right, we're back. We're going to take a few questions. Y'all been submitting questions on ltfquestions.info. We've got probably, I don't know, we're close to 75, 80 questions.
Yeah, we've got a whole stack full of them
We've
here.
got episode among episode of content. So we're going to go through a few questions and see how we can help you guys out.
Yeah, we do apologize. We're just kind of going in order as they've come in. If we don't get to your question tonight, we'll try to get to it next week. We will be doing this every week, Tuesday night, 7 p.m., so be sure to tune in. If you got questions, keep them rolling. First question is, okay, so this one actually addressed to me, so I'll take this one. It says, Matt, in a late summer situation, this one's from Keith DeBoe, sorry. Matt, in a late summer situation on a Lake Wiley, for instance, when the fish are schooling on small shad but will not touch anything you throw to them, what techniques do you fall back on to catch those fish looking for smaller bait fish? One thing I do, Keith, is, you got to match the hatch, but a couple things that I live and die by that time of year, it's light line, small baits. Think crappie, panfish, things like that. Think outside the box. I've caught them on rooster tails. I've caught them on panther martins. I've caught them on all kinds of different crappie jigs. Some of those central U.S. guys probably laughing at me when I say crappie. We call them crappie around here. That's just the way it is. It's
I think if you're east of Mississippi, it's crappie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jeff, where are you from? East of the Mississippi.
South Carolina, Jack.
It's crappie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. All right.
Okay. We got that set.
Make sure we're on the same page there. So, yeah, Keith, so matching the hatch. Don't be afraid to go super, super small. 4-pound, 6-pound line. I use like a 7-foot, 4-inch spinning rod typically to make long, accurate casts. Accurate cast is a huge deal when you're dealing with schooling fish. That was a big deal at Lake Murray. Those fish were feeding on bigger bait fish, so we could target them with larger lures. But when they're on that small shad, say this year's hatch, that inch and a half long stuff, try your rooster tails, your little small blade baits, small spoons. I've even used slider grubs. I've used little bitty curly tails, rigged on like 1/8 ounce or 16th ounce jig heads, thrown out, quick retrieve, waking them across the top of the water. Don't give them too long to look at it. They're so dialed into that shad that time of year. They are real fickle about what they'll actually eat. So just keep trying those little things until one of them clicks, and you'll catch them.
What do we got next?
Next. Does the coming solar eclipse have an effect on fishing? Okay, so I said earlier that we are not talking about the solar eclipse.
That one's out.
Sorry, whoever questioned that was, I apologize. The solar eclipse was yesterday, so we're a day late on that, but maybe we'll try it on the next one if any of us are alive.
Yeah, I think there's one a couple years. 10, 15.
A totality eclipse?
Yeah, I think it's coming from the other direction.
I just said a curse word, totality. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, you said you were going to say.
This question is
you
for
broke
Brian.
your own rule.
This question is for Brian. All right, Brian. You've been one of the most consistent bass fishermen out there. To capitalize on your success, this is from Wendell Leonard. To capitalize on your success, have you considered writing a bass fishing book? You could call it Smoke on the Water or something catchy like that. There aren't many new bass books out there, and us weekend fishermen aren't fishing. We love to read about it.
I have really never thought about writing a book. I don't know. Maybe a fiction book. I could probably do fiction. That'd be pretty good.
You'd probably have to get Allison to write it for you.
I'd definitely have to get Allison to write it for me. I'd have to
that's for sure.
And Emily to proofread it. Yeah, those are our wives. We don't do English. English was
I
not.
don't type an email anymore without sending it to Emily. And say, hey,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's a true statement. That's a true statement. Okay, this question is to Brian also from Adam Gum. How would you recommend practicing? This is a good question, Adam. How would you recommend practicing for an upcoming tournament with very limited practice? We know a lot of you guys are tournament fishermen. Limited practice days such as 1, possibly 2 at the most, with very cheap electronics. I plan on fishing some BFLs as a boater, and I need all the help possible to learn. Thanks.
That is a great question, and that's probably what took me the longest to learn how to do, was to learn how to practice. I mean, everybody knows how to practice for a single day event or something like that, but when you talk about practicing for multiple days events or even a short practice period, you've really got to utilize your time. And the BFLs are how I started out my professional career. I mean, the FLW's got a great stepping stone for their BFL program, and I mean, now they've got the high school and college deal. But the way, my rule of thumb when I practice, especially when I go to a new lake and I want to cover a lot of water in a short amount of time, is I go with a 15-minute rule. I pull in somewhere, I fish around 10 or 15 minutes, and you can usually get a feel on, is there bait fish popping around, you know, have I got a bite? Because usually when you pull into a place, you get a bite pretty quick if there's fish there. You don't have to fish down 3 miles of bank to get one bite. I mean, if it's a place that's going to hold up for a tournament, you know, you need to get a couple of bites fairly quick. So 15 minutes, crank up, go somewhere else. And what that does is throughout the course of, say, a 10-hour practice day, you're hitting 40, 50 stretches of bank, going in 40 or 50 different pockets or points or something like that. And you can sample a little bit of everything. But as far as how I start my practice, I let the time of year dictate that. Springtime, you know, I'm obviously going to be checking secondary points, places leading into spawning areas, something like that. Post-spawn, I'm going to get out on main lake flats or something. It's summertime, get out on the ledges. Fall, the fish start migrating back in the creeks, start checking those back of the creeks where you have an actual creek running in, something that's going to bring that fresh rain in, and the water's going to cool off. And that's pretty much your yearly cycle of where to start your practice for a whole course of the year. That's what I would do, especially practicing for tournaments like the BFLs with a short practice period. Just make sure you run a lot of water in practice. You don't have to get a lot of bites in practice. You just have to get a couple to tell you which direction
Ryan
you
actually
need to
never
go.
gets a bite in practice.
That's very true.
Ever.
and that's the beauty of it, is you don't have to catch 20 pounds in practice to be able to catch 25 pounds in the tournament. You get 2 bites in practice and let that tell you what you need to do for the actual tournament situation. Because, you know, if you fish all day and don't get any bites, but you got 3 bites and all 3 of them were on docks on points, you know that's what you need to do in the tournament. I'm going to run docks on points, and I'm going to run every one on the lake. Even stuff I didn't make a cast on in practice, I'm going to run that because it fits the pattern. So that,
simple enough.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
That's great information. And Brian hit the nail on the head. I think, and I'm over here taking that. When Brian's talking, I'm taking notes. and keeping an open mind, because, you know, if you figure out a pattern in practice, like Brian said, you need an idea.
Yeah, you just need a clue.
You don't need to go out and sourmouth all the fish and catch 100 bass. You know, you need an idea. You need 1, 2, maybe 3 bites to get you going in the right direction. But keep an open mind, because if you only have 1 day of practice, it might be bluebird skies, sunny, flat, calm, and then you get a windy, bad monsoon storm, you know,
which
during the
we've
tournament,
had all year on the tour.
About every tournament. And you just need to be able to adjust on the fly. Keep an open mind. Don't get stuck on your practice all the time.
Yeah, that's a killer right there. If you get stuck on, well, this is what they were doing yesterday, you know, they're obviously, if it's 10:30 and you hadn't had a bite, they're not doing that today. Yeah. So you got to figure out where they went. They're not going to go far. But don't be scared to practice during the tournament either. I mean, that wins tournaments 90% of the time is practicing during the tournament.
Absolutely. And it might just be a simple technique change. Like Brian said, the fish aren't going to move far. It just may take a different application to actually catch them.
Exactly.
And being versatile is a big key in that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I start every tournament with 20 rods on the deck.
You end every tournament with 20 rods.
I do.
Okay, one more question from the Let's Talk Fish emails. When bed fishing, how do you decide which fish can be caught, and how long do you fish for a particular fish before you move on? This one's from Nick. Nick, Alton Jones said it years ago. I think he was fishing actually it might have been at Beaver Lake. He was fishing. It was a sight fishing deal, and he said he's got a 5-minute rule. Well, within 5 minutes for sure, I think you can find out you can determine if that fish is catchable. A lot of times you can determine a lot quicker than that. If you're just looking for them in practice and you're plowing down the bank and you run by one from me to Brian with your trolling motor and he doesn't move, I'll promise you that fish is catchable.
Yeah.
If you pitch a bait in there, he runs off, don't think he's not catchable either. If he comes back fairly quickly, he's still catchable too. Pay real close attention to how that fish reacts when you put a bait in that bed, past him, outside the bed, whatever. He's going to have a sweet spot in there too that's really going to trigger him to want to defend it. So there's a lot of different ways, but I'd say within 3 or 4 minutes tops.
Yeah, you kind of get an idea of what he's going to do.
As long as he doesn't jet down the bank 150 yards and it takes him 30 minutes to come back, unless he's like a 10-pounder, I'm not going to spend that much time
exactly.
on him. But a couple minutes, and I'll let Brian give you his insight.
One thing on bedfish that I've learned is contrasting colors. Everybody likes to throw a bright color, say a white bait that they can see, and I'll usually start with that. But if the fish doesn't give you the response you need, throw a contrasting color. Throw something that's complete opposite end of the spectrum, black and red flake, black and blue flake, something like that. And a lot of times just a simple color change like that will get their attention and they'll be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and Brian just kind of let one of my biggest secrets out of the bag. I don't even start with white, chartreuses, pinks. I think a lot of people are afraid of hooking them outside the mouth, which is a rule. You must hook a sight bass inside the mouth in tournaments. But I have fish, in my experience, react a lot quicker to natural colors.
Yeah.
Whether it's watermelon candies or green pumpkin, something that looks like bluegill, or a crawfish, something that would invade the bed in actual real situations. So I hope that answers your question, Nick. We're going to take a quick little break right now. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, I just definitely want to thank you. We got good many viewers on. We definitely want to thank you for that. I see a lot of people sharing it, so we definitely thank you for that, and we hope we're adding some value and giving some good tips and tricks.
And we definitely appreciate all the questions, guys. Keep them coming. This is our first show. Next week we'll have a show again, 7 o'clock on Tuesday Eastern Time, and we look forward to getting all the questions and seeing what the viewers want to talk about. I mean, what are y'all interested in? That's where we're at, and that's where we want to go with this program.
It's definitely a viewer-driven show.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Our goal is to interact with you guys. Take your questions. We're going to have a good time, and you guys are going to help that in submitting questions.
Unscripted, winging it,
100%.
Exactly.
120%. We literally just showed up 5 minutes before we started and figured it out. And I guess that's what makes it fun. I mean, it's all good. So
I just realized something. That shot of Brian right there, the camera angle on Brian, makes that buck that we hung up look like a doe.
It does.
We promise it's a 9-pointer. He's like 78 inches wide. No, don't show him. Okay, he's a small 8-pointer. They got us. But we're going to come back right after this little quick break, and we are going to take some live questions. We know you guys have been throwing a bunch at us here on Facebook. We're going to answer a few of those, so stay with us.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back. There's a good many questions here in the comments, and we're going to answer a few of those.
I got one. A buddy of mine just texted me, and he submitted a good question, but he said, I want to know about the break-off rule at Moss Lake.
That is a good
question. So, guys,
question.
Brian and I fish a little local.
Well, you got to let me lay the groundwork for it.
Okay, but
because it's my rule.
Just tell them about what we fish and where it is. Okay, go ahead. All
right. So Moss Lake, which we mentioned earlier that Jeff sunk the drone in, anyway, that's where me and Matt.
What's the break-off?
There's liable to be like 5,000 people out there scuba diving tomorrow. We'll give y'all coordinates if you want coordinates to where the drone is. If you find it, more power to you.
So anyway, this is where Matt and I pretty much learned how to bass fish. I won my very first bass tournament there, and I'm sure Matt probably did too.
I must not have been in that one.
No, I don't think you were. But anyway, there's a Thursday evening tournament there every Thursday from 6 to 9:30, and me and Matt fish them when we can. We try to fish all of them. So anyway, a couple years ago, Matt's throwing his little drop shot deal. Got a lot of spotted bass in this lake, and you can win with them in 3.5 hours. So Matt's throwing his spinning rod and his little spotted bass deal, and I don't know what kind of knot he's tying for his braid.
The wrong one, apparently.
Evidently. So he was having, I think he was not retying either for like a month straight or something. So he's having issues. He's broke a couple off. So I make a rule that every time he breaks one off, he owes me $10. So that way I'm going to get paid even if he doesn't get me paid in the
trust
tournament.
me, Brian gets paid. Yeah.
But since I started enforcing this rule, he started retying, and we've had no more break-offs.
Zero, as a matter of fact.
Zero,
since that tournament, I have not broke off a single fish.
No more break-offs. So anyway, we fished last Thursday, and same spinning rod. I'm throwing my Demiki Finesse Mickey on at Murray all week. Last week, haven't retied. I break one off.
He's making excuses. He breaks one off. We had a limit in the boat, a pretty decent limit at the time, and I was excited to see him break a fish off as I was winning the Forrest, or would have been winning the Forrest Wood Cup. I was jumping up and down. Because of all the smack talk for the past 2 or 3 years, I mean, he broke a fish off, and we're fishing a team tournament. I really should be upset or depressed.
Yeah, first thing he said, "You owe me $10."
I was screaming, "Finally, you owe me $10." And by gosh, when Arnold, our tournament director, said, "Come up, whatever, get your money," I made sure, because I know what Brian was going to try to do, that I took my $10 out of his half. And I got my money, just so everybody knows.
He got his $10.
So that's that. And we have a bunch more questions coming in.
What's next, Arnold?
Let's see. Coffee and Vienna sausages.
What's the best snacks you recommend for long pre-tournament practice days?
Miss Allie's cookies.
Yeah, Brian eats cookies. Yeah, Allison cooks great cookies. He won't even share those cookies with me either.
Because they're too good. See, the deal was, this is a good story too. My wife's wanting one of these high-dollar KitchenAid mixers. And so I look at them. They're like $400. Yeah. So I make a deal with her. If I get you this $high mixer, I've got to have cookies for every tournament. So it's worked out greatly in my favor. It's very well spent money.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah, and the best ones that she makes are oatmeal cookies with white chocolate chips and cranberries. They are delicious. Thank you, honey.
Okay, in all seriousness, I mean the cookies. Well, I don't know how good the cookies are. I never get one, but I do eat. I personally eat a lot of Cliff Bars. I eat a lot of Cliff Bars. Drink plenty of water. Obviously, that's important on hot dog days of summer, especially at the Cup. I was going through like 8 or 10 waters a day. Definitely. Sometimes I'll carry a gallon jug. But I eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of apples. Eat a lot of Cliff Bars, beef jerky. Things that give you plenty of energy.
I got on the canned salmon a couple years ago. I ate a lot of canned salmon.
Yeah, a lot of guys eat tuna. A lot of guys eat tuna, like the Starkist, little tuna packs and things like that. Those are good quick snacks, but I'd say, Cliff Bars are quick, easy. You can eat them when you're running from spot to spot. Yeah. Apples are the same way.
Right.
Any kind of fruit, things like that.
That's a good point you just brought up. Behind every good angler, there's a great woman.
And we both have great women.
That is exactly right. I couldn't.
We're not saying that because they're watching.
No, not at all.
And so I mean, with running the tour and what it takes to do that, and we got a great team. That we put together to do that, and it's a lot of time away, and what they allow us to do to have fun. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean, Allie keeps my head on straight because I rarely get mad. I just don't get mad. I don't have a hot temper, but I get mad at myself. Like if I don't catch fish, or not if I don't catch fish. Like I get the maddest when I don't have a clue how I got beat. Like I can handle getting beat, but when I don't know how it happened, that's when I get mad. And I just kind of soil up and go to myself, and she'll talk me out of it and get my head back on straight.
Well, a good thing you don't get mad very often.
I try not to.
You've been doing pretty good.
Tony Gaskin said, "Who's got time to eat chunk and wind?"
What's that?
I think he's referring to the chunk light tuna.
Oh, yeah. What's happening, Tony? Thanks for joining.
All
Reggie
right.
Floyd.
Wait, y'all want to take one more question? One more live question?
Let's do it.
We got Reggie Floyd down there in Lake Murray.
Yeah, he asked. We kind of touched on that earlier. Were you guys surprised at the
He's
weights?
a little slow. He's a little slow. But yeah.
Reggie, we were absolutely. We could not believe the weights. I mean, almost 20
I was
pounds
very
a day.
surprised.
Here's a good one. Brian, I'll let you shoot this one. What type of areas, this is from Gary York, what type of areas would you look at on a Highland reservoir from now till fall turnover?
Now till fall turnover, topwater. Straight topwater would be probably what I would do, because Highland reservoirs, you don't really have a lot of water fluctuation this time of year. And so you've got a stable water line, and there's always going to be fish cruising, especially if you've got a good, decent water clarity. You know, if I've got 4 to 5 feet of water visibility, I'm going to put the trolling motor on 100 and fly down the bank and just see what kind of stuff those shallow fish are setting on. See if there's brim beds, and you know, they may be setting on clay banks, rock banks, stuff like that, little shade pockets, and that's usually a pretty reliable pattern in the summer to late fall. One of my favorite too, because everybody loves throwing top water.
That's right.
Anytime you can catch one on top, it's funner than anything else.
That's exactly right. We'll take one more. This one's from Dylan Smith. It says, have you ever considered the switch to Bassmasters since you've done so well against them in the TTBC? Well, I fished a couple TTBCs. I haven't done so well, so I'm assuming that this is going to Brian. I'll answer it real quick first from my standpoint. We never say no to where we fish. You know, our goal, I think Brian's goal is the same, is to provide for our families and enjoy what we're doing. And if that means fishing FLW, that's what we're going to do. If it means fishing bass, that's what we'll try to do. So I don't have anything against either one. They're both great tours. FLW is where we cut our teeth.
Yeah.
That's where we started. The TTBC, which was a phenomenal event, they pretty much booted the FLW guys. I don't know how else to put it. So they've made it a different event. We don't, unfortunately, the top 15 from the tour is not invited to fish that event anymore. Brian won that event one year.
Yeah.
So I know he's upset about not being able to go back. But go ahead, Brian. I'll let you hit on that too.
The TTBC is a great run event. I always enjoyed fishing it just because we got to hang out with guys we normally don't get to during the course of the year, the guys that fish bass. But I really haven't put any thought into fishing bass. I mean, I'm happy with FLW. I love fishing with them. And like Matt said, this is where I got my starts. I came up through the BFLs, the Costa Series, which is one of the greatest, AAA level series out there now. The payout's awesome in that Costa Series.
Yeah, where else can you fish a AAA level event and win $100,000?
Exactly.
I mean, 50 grand cash and a brand new Ranger boat, $50,000 Ranger.
Yeah.
Costa's really stepped it up a notch to make an awesome platform there.
Right, exactly. So, and then you got from there, you step up to the tour, and to me, it's a good fit for me. I consider the FLW people family, and I've always enjoyed fishing there, and I'm very happy where I'm at and plan to stay here for hopefully till I retire.
Yeah, I'm the same way. They're very, very family friendly. We've known them now for 15 years probably.
I think this was my 11th year as a pro.
Yeah, we started the same year, both in 07.
Yeah, we did.
So, yeah, we both been on tour for about 10 or 11 years, and, never regretted 1 second fishing FLW. We have a blast doing it, so.
Good deal. So I think that's about going to wrap it up. We said when we started we were going to go about 30 minutes and see what happens. So awesome. It may get longer in the future, but until then, we're gonna sign off for now, and we'll see you on the web or on the water. And appreciate you tuning in to Let's Talk Fish.
That's right. If you missed us, now it'll be available on YouTube.
We're gonna post it on YouTube, and also we're gonna put the podcast out. It'll be on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and all that kind of good stuff. And I do want to give a shout out to Quaker State.
Absolutely.
Came on board. Matt can talk a little bit about what Quaker State is.
Yeah, not just for our show, but for the anglers, even the FLW tour.
Yeah, I mean they've taken such good care of everybody in the fishing industry, really.
Absolutely. And guys, you know, we're not going to sit up here all the time and just plug our personal sponsors, but, you know, buy those products that take care of our industry and the fishing industry in general, you know, because that's what keeps this industry afloat. And the programs now, the high school programs, the college programs, the opportunities that kids have, they come from followings, they come from sponsor support and things like that, and that's a big deal in this industry. I mean, it's something I'm passionate about, and I'm sure Brian is too.
Oh, yeah. About
the opportunities that these kids have. I mean, the kids are our future in this sport, and we thank Quaker State for being such a big part of it. And Haybo Outdoors is come on board.
Absolutely, yeah. Scott and Patrick and all the guys at Haybo have been really good to us on the Redfish Cup side since we started, and they've come on big with us here and shown support when it really wasn't anything to support except an idea. And
over liver mush, an idea
liver
that bloomed over liver mush.
Idea over liver much. So we definitely thank them.
Let's talk. Will redfish bite topwater?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's getting ideas.
We might have some competition coming to the dark side, boys.
Guys, be sure we are going to have a special guest next week. I don't know if I want to announce it or not.
Nah, let's wait.
Yeah,
we'll announce it.
We got a special guest coming next week on the show. So tune in Tuesday, same time, same place. Let's talk fish. Look forward to hearing from you. If we didn't get to your questions tonight, don't give up on us.
Keep sending those questions in, you know, because we'll go through 5 or 6 every week and possibly more. You know, we may get in here and get rolling and go for an hour one night. You never know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all take care, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.